Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I want to talk about Legion, and in particular, I want to talk about all the rare items and mounts and overcool transmogs from this expansion and why right now you should avoid wasting your time farming for them, knowing that most likely these will become super easy to get in a few months from now. So if you are someone right now who is trying, for instance, to get your hands on the different pod arms from Antorus, or also the famous sword from Antorus as well, or maybe some of the different raid mounts such as the different Infernals from Gul'dan, or also the different mounts from Antorus, including obviously the really cool Urzul mount from the last boss. Well, I would recommend you probably to wait, because with the release of Legion Remix that will normally happen sometimes during the end of the year, most likely all these different rewards are going to become super easy to get if they decide to do the same thing as with Mist of Honor Remix. Also, just a quick disclaimer, this is really just an informative video. These are my personal recommendations. You don't have to follow any of what I'm gonna say in this video. And of course, if you really want some of the different items from Legion and you don't want to wait for Legion Remix, then of course you should still try to get your hands on them. I'm really just making the video to make sure that people understand that probably some of these rare items that they're currently farming will become way more easy to get in Legion Remix, and to avoid having too many people frustrated with the time they invested in some of these different items. That's pretty much it. For those of you who are not yet aware, Legion Remix has been officially announced, and so we just don't know exactly when it will be released, but most likely it will be around the end of the year or early next year. So all we know is that for sure we will be able to get the remix version of Legion. So if you were not able to play during Mist of Honor Remix, I just want to remind you of all the different rewards we were able to get during this event. First, when it comes to the mounts, we got a lot of unused recolored mounts, as you can see from this list right here. But next to that, we also got some existing mounts, including all the rare mounts from the different raids, and also the rare mounts from the world bosses and from some of the rares in Mist of Pandaria. So it means that basically you were able very easily to get all of that just by playing the event. And trust me, it was super easy to get all these really cool mounts, including some that were among some of the rarest mounts in the game, such as the Ebony Onyx Cloud Serpent mount. Now, mounts were not the only thing that you were able to get and to buy from vendors during this expansion. As you can see here, we also got a lot of the different ensembles from the different raids. We also got all the different ensembles from the dungeons and also from outdoor activities. So again, here, some of them were already in the game and some were added. So for instance, you have this ensemble Corcoran Shaman vestments. We got 3 different versions, and initially this was something that was only available for shamans, but now this is something that you can get as a cosmetic item for any of your characters. And next to these different ensembles, we also got some rare mogs, such as for instance the Tusk of Manora that you were able to buy as well with the currency, and also some of the different weapons that were removed from the game until now and that you were again able to buy from different vendors. So as you can see, there were definitely tons of these different pretty cool and rare transmog items that were available through all the different vendors, and therefore it's most likely that some vendors will also be added to Legion Remix and that you will also be able to buy some of these different ensembles and items. So based on the information that we have from Mist of Honor Remix, and again here I want to insist on the fact that this is the only other remix event that we've had so far, and so maybe Blizzard will decide to do things completely differently with Legion Remix, but I highly doubt it. But based on this information, these are the different category of items that I would recommend you to maybe not farm too much before Legion Remix, because you might waste a lot of time and might be very frustrated when you will realize that these items are going to be super easy to get during Legion Remix. So first of all, as I already mentioned, we have all the different mounts from the different raids. So here, for instance, it includes the Abyss Worm from the Tomb of Sargeras in any difficulty. Then from Enterers, you have, of course, the Unturned Charhound, that is, again, a mount that will drop from any difficulty. And then you have the Shackled Urzul. So these two mounts, similar, I think they will be added to the vendor. And then from the Nighthold, we have, of course, the two different Hellfire and Living Infernal Core mounts. So these are really, really nice mounts as well. The ones that I'm not sure yet, and it's mainly because in Mist of Pandaria there was no dungeon mounts, but we have from the Return to Karazhan two mounts that you might also be able to get from the vendors, such as the Midnight's Eternal Reigns, and then you have normally another one from this dungeon as well. So again, maybe avoid farming them too much, because I'm pretty sure these will also be added to the vendors. Then in terms of transmog, so here we have all the rare weapons from the raid again. So for instance, you have Thais Shalash from Agramar. Then you have the different sites of the Unmaker. So you have this version right here. And then you also have this other version right here. Then from the Tomb of Sargeras raid, you also have this hammer right here. So these are all the really rare cosmetic weapons from these different raids that again might become available through the vendors, or at least might become way more easily accessible during Legion Remix. We also have, for instance, from this other raid right here, we have these shoulders that are pretty rare and things that I'm sure many people are still farming. And so again, similar to the different Tusk of Manoroths, these might become available at the vendor. And then because they also decided during Mist of Pandaria Remix to include some ensembles from world activities and also dungeons, I think these type of transmogs right here might also become things that you will be able to buy from the different vendors. So again, these are pretty annoying to farm and pretty rare. So if you are currently working on that, of course you can continue, but just be aware that maybe these will become really easy to get during Legion Remix. So this is, I think, another category of items that I really want to highlight right here. And of course, this is not the only thing that you will be able to get. For instance, you are also able to get all these different weapons right here. And these are, again, pretty annoying to get. And so probably some of them will become way easier to get. So again, it's completely up to you to see how you want to spend your time and if it's worth the risk or not. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really just want to make this video because I know that a lot of people were very frustrated when Mist of Pandaria Remix was released and when they realized that after spending years farming some rare mounts and transmogs and things like that, these were suddenly very easy to get during the Remix event. And so probably a lot of the same rewards are going to be added in Legion Remix, and that's why I feel like if you still don't have some of these rare rewards, maybe it's better to just wait for Legion to be there. And if it happens that these different items are not as easy as we think to get during Legion Remix, then you'll still be able to start farming them again after that. So again, it's completely up to you to see how you want to use this information. I just want to really avoid having a lot of people frustrated with this event, and that's why I wanted to make this video. Let me know in the comments what you think in general about the remix format and about these different events, and also about the fact that some rare items are suddenly pretty easy to get and things you can just buy from a vendor. Let me know also if you personally want some of these different rare items from Legion to become available on the vendors, or if you would rather have them remain pretty hard to get even during the remix event and things that players should still try to farm. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime I wish you all a great day. Bye!